So today I thought I would talk about one of our biggest fears, that feeling of not being good enough, and some things I have done that have helped. But if you don't suffer from this, then you need to tell me your secrets because it still haunts me. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I help busy people cut the crap and get back to happy. It is Halloween here, so I thought I would tackle something scary. Now, even if you were lying on a couch, I am not a psychologist, so if you need some extra help, get it. I would highly recommend it. But you have probably noticed as you're scrolling through social media, or maybe reading a biography, or even just as you're out and about, watching other people living their lives, you've probably thought, everyone else is better than I am. Everyone else is successful and slim and financially sound and, at the gym first thing every morning and always going off on incredible adventures. Their life is so fun and mine is so dull. They have achieved so much and I can barely make it off the couch. I do this all the time, if it wasn't already obvious that I was speaking from personal experience. I actually did it in the middle of prepping for this video. I look at other bloggers, I look at other YouTubers, look at other people's Instagram accounts, I talk to people at conferences, and sometimes, honestly, it makes me feel crap. I feel like they're living this super successful, glitzy life, money in the bank, baking with the kids on the weekend, churning out an insane amount of content, and, drinking green smoothies to boot. Meanwhile, I will finish working on this video and then be pretty much brain dead for the next 2 days. And I still feel like this 5 years into my business, 35 years into my life. I still feel like I am playing at being a businesswoman. I still feel like I am playing at being a grown-up. I am still all about the naps and the snacks. But I have, over the years, learned some strategies that have really helped. When I start going down that dark rabbit hole of feeling like a failure, feeling like I'll never amount to anything, feeling like I'm not good enough to write a book or grow my Instagram account or speak at certain events or do certain things, this is what I turn to. The most helpful for me, so I'll start with this one, is writing down all my wins. Every little good thing that happens to me, every time I hit a little milestone, every time I come across something that I am truly thankful for, anytime I achieve anything, I write it down. So for each month, going back several years now, I have a list of, all my little successes. At the end of every month, I sit down and I read through them for that month. And at the end of every year, I will sit down and read through each of them from that year. And it is a long list, and it helps me feel like I am actually achieving something, like I am doing something with my life. I have a very bad memory, so if you asked me to pick out some successes from the last year, I would probably be able to tell you about some of the biggest kind of standout moments, but after that, I'd be at a loss, and then I'd feel like a failure. But having my list is tangible, black and white proof that I am doing something with my life and there are lots of good things going on. And then sometimes when I glance back at random ones from years ago, I can see how far I've come. Now, sometimes that stuff can be very kind of subjective, something like laundry. Catching up on laundry might make it to my list. Actually, no, definitely make it to my list. It made it to my list a few weeks ago. But you might think oh, those are just really small kind of personal things. I'm not making an impact on the world at large. I'm not doing anything that is, big enough to be noticed by anyone else. I'm not doing anything meaningful. That is where my feel-good folder comes in. So I have a folder on my laptop called, obviously, the Feel Good folder, where, whenever I get a particularly lovely comment or message or email, something like that, wherever I spot that my blog has been featured, or something that just gives me some external validation, something that's coming from something or someone else, I will screenshot it and I will pop it in. For you, it could be a notebook or a scrapbook or a shoebox where you collect all of them, or an app or whatever. Just one place that you can go when you're feeling like you're not making a difference in the world. So save nice messages or cards that people send you. Save, emails from people who are thanking you for a job well done. If someone says something nice about you, write it down, pop it in. Now, obviously, your self-esteem should not be tied to what other people think of you, which is why I started with the personal wins. But sometimes it is nice to know that, when you're doubting yourself, when you're feeling down on yourself, when you're just not feeling good enough, that is not what other people see. When you have lost some perspective, it can be really helpful to borrow it from someone else. And hey, if you're feeling hot to trot someday and you're thinking that you're pretty hot shit, then feel free to go ahead and leave a little note for your future self to remind yourself that, yeah, you are pretty great. Another thing that really helps me is to connect with real people. People who are sharing their struggles. There is definitely a time and a place for inspirational, aspirational content. I think we all want something to aim for, but sometimes you just need someone to sit down with you and say, hey, sometimes I feel like shit too. If you have friends like that, great, call them. But even if you don't, or you can't see or speak to them right now, then go find them online, visit forums, Facebook groups, or even just watch YouTube videos of other people who are really open and honest and raw. I love Cass over at Clutterbug. At the end of each of her videos, she does a little story time and she does not mince her words. She is hilarious, but she doesn't try and paint this fancy picture of how wonderful every element of her life is. And Mel from For the Love of Sorted, she does these realistic clean with me videos. What real homes with several children look like. We all need the Martha Stewarts and the Mrs. Hinches of the world to show us their highlight reel. But at times when you're feeling down, when you're just not feeling great about yourself, then it really helps to find someone else out there who has content that is much more relatable to your current life experience. Because sometimes what you really want to see is all the behind the scenes and the bloopers. And often just knowing that you are not alone in that feeling can be what helps to pull you out of it. And this one wasn't included in the original list that I wrote for this video, but I've just done it and it did me the power of good, so I'm throwing it in as a last minute addition. I was out running errands, I had the car connected to the music app on my phone. I cranked up the volume, I dusted off the old windpipes, and I had myself a super sing-along session. And now I feel like a fucking rock star. So channel your inner angsty teen, pop on those rock anthems that you used to listen to when the world was against you and your parents didn't understand you, and get shouty. Maybe 16-year-olds do have it all figured out. Ooh, pop your rage song recommendations in the comments below. Nostalgia, here we come. I have some other videos with things that have helped me over the years to overcome some of the biggest mental blocks, things like imposter syndrome, fear of failure. Click here to watch those, and remember to check the comments for all those song recommendations for your moody teenager playlist. Until then, Carav Mila Magwith, August Vega Misha Shigalua, Sloan.